試験監督者は音量及び室内の聞こえ具合を確認してください。2024年度第3回実用英語技能検定準1級リスニングテスト。ただいまから準1級リスニングテストを行います。これからお話しすることについて質問は受けませんので、よく注意して聞いてください。なお、リスニングテスト放送中に音飛びや騒音があった場合は、発生した問題のトラックの始めに戻し、やり直します。しかしながら、万が一、教室監督者が気づかない場合は、速やかに手を挙げてお知らせ願います。このテストでは、テストの方法と注意事項がすべて英語で放送されます。
The listening test for the grade Pre-1 examination is about to begin. Listen carefully to the directions. You will not be permitted to ask questions during the test. This test has 3 parts. All of the questions in these 3 parts are multiple choice questions. For each question, choose the best answer from among the 4 choices written in your test booklet. On your answer sheet, find the number of the question and mark your answer. You are permitted to take notes for every part of this listening test. Now, here are the directions for Part 1. In this part, you will hear 12 dialogues, number 1 through number 12. Each dialogue will be followed by 1 question. For each question, you will have 10 seconds to choose the best answer and mark your answer on your answer sheet. The dialogue and the question will be given only once.
Now, we will begin the Grade Pre-1 listening test. Number 1.
I'd like to return this shirt and get my money back, please. Here's my receipt.
I'm sorry, but our return policy states that we can only do that for items brought back within 30 days. This receipt is from 5 weeks ago.
I don't see what difference a few days makes. Can't you overlook it this time?
I'm afraid not. But we can offer you store credit or exchange the shirt for another item.
Well, if that's the best you can do, I'll take the credit.
Question. Why is the woman annoyed? Number 2.
Could I get some advice? I need to find a new apartment after I graduate, but I'm unsure which neighborhoods to look at.
Why don't you just get an apartment near the university?
I'm not sure I could afford the rent there.
You know, I think one of my friend's roommates is moving out at the end of the semester. You would only pay 1/3 of the rent. I can introduce you to each other.
That would be great. Thanks.
Question. What will the woman do?
Number 3.
Did you like the movie?
To be honest, I much preferred the book because it was so much clearer about what the characters were thinking.
That's almost always true. An author can write many pages describing characters' thoughts, but audiences have to rely on actors' abilities to show feelings in a film.
Exactly. The filmmakers also changed the ending quite a bit, and they cut out important sections of the story.
I enjoyed the film, personally. I guess I'm lucky I didn't read the book.
Question. What is one thing the woman says about the movie?
Number 4.
It's nearly spring already. Have you ordered seeds for your vegetable garden?
You know, Between the cost of the seeds and supplies and the work I put in, I've decided it's not worth it.
Really? But homegrown vegetables taste so much better than store-bought vegetables.
I can get great produce at the farmer's market every week.
But I always thought you enjoyed working in the garden.
It does have its moments. To be honest, though, I'd much rather be out on the golf course.
Question. What does the man tell the woman?
Number 5.
What did the dentist say about your tooth, honey?
He recommends pulling it and putting in an implant.
When's that going to happen?
He's booked for a while, so I didn't make an appointment. Actually, I was thinking of having your dentist take a look at it. Maybe she'd have another suggestion.
Oh, you should. She's great at keeping pain to a minimum, and the costs are reasonable.
I'm not so worried about the cost, but I'd like to save the tooth, if at all possible.
Question. Why does the man want to see his wife's dentist?
Number 6.
Professor, are you free to talk about my midterm exam results?
Of course. I have office hours today from 2 to 4. You could stop by then.
Thanks. Should I bring my notes or the textbook?
Bring your exam and something to write with.
I'm not sure if I have my exam. I couldn't find it in my room this morning.
Well, it'll be tough to talk about the exam without seeing your answers. Maybe you should take another look.
Okay.
Question. What will the woman likely do next?
Number 7.
Alice, I wanted to talk to you about my contract. It expires on April 1st.
I've already talked to personnel, and they are optimistic about having you continue.
When will you know for certain?
Not until February or March. They want to see what our needs will be first.
That could be an issue. I've had a couple of other offers, and I'm reluctant to turn them down unless I'm certain of my future here.
I understand. I'll try to hurry things up then. We'd hate to lose you.
Question. Why is the man concerned?
Number 8.
Have you used the vacuum cleaner recently?
Yeah, I cleaned the basement with it yesterday. Why?
Well, I was just cleaning the living room and it started shooting out dirt everywhere.
I did clean up a lot of stuff off the floor, but nothing that might have broken the machine.
You know, this happens when the bag is too full. And you do know where the extra bags are, right?
Yes, in the laundry room. Let me take care of it.
Question. What does the woman imply?
Number 9.
You know, Margaret and I were talking, and we were thinking it would be nice if all the members were allowed to personalize their spaces in the community garden.
You mean like putting up decorations or fences or something?
Exactly. I've been wanting to add some lighting myself.
You know how conservative David is, and without his approval, it'll never happen.
You're right. Maybe we should talk with some other people and see if we can think of a way to convince him.
Question. What does the woman imply about David?
Number 10.
Sergio, Parvati here. NTC Electronics is complaining about the last shipment of parts they received from us.
I just heard. It sounds like we should get the team together to discuss this.
Okay. Things are pretty hectic, though, so can we keep it brief?
Sure. I don't think this is anything major.
That's a relief. I've been a bit worried about it.
I'll send out an email to everyone involved.
Thanks.
Question. What request does the woman make?
Number 11.
Have you been playing that King Square game you got for Christmas much?
Yeah, it's really complex, and it took us forever to figure out, but it was well worth it.
I'm thinking about giving it a try too.
Do you like Strategy Sphere? It's pretty similar.
Oh, my wife and I played that a lot last year. I loved the fancy artwork on the board and the cards.
Well, King Square is a lot plainer, but it's just as enjoyable.
Question. What is one thing that the woman says about King Square?
Number 12.
Amanda, when you make your speech at the community center, I'd like you to emphasize how the tutoring programs have helped improve the children's academic results.
Sure, I was definitely planning to do that.
And it's probably better to avoid the subject of Mr. Jefferson resigning last June.
Yes, I know some people were upset about how the hiring of his replacement was handled.
Okay, well, good luck with your speech. I'm looking forward to hearing it tomorrow night.
Question. What is one piece of advice that the man gives to the woman?
Here are the directions for Part 2. In this part, you will hear 6 passages, A through F. Each passage will be followed by 2 questions, number 13 through number 24. For each question, you will have 10 seconds to choose the best answer and mark your answer on your answer sheet. The passage and the questions will be given only once. Now, let's begin.
A. Getting ahead at work. It is commonly believed that being aggressive and bossy helps workers get promoted to top positions. According to a survey of 610 business leaders and their co-workers, however, there is another way to achieve such success in the workplace: being humble. By admitting their own mistakes and praising fellow workers, humble people develop a network of co-workers who trust and respect them. This gives them a higher status in the office, which their superiors recognize and reward with promotion. The researchers say that when dominant leaders make mistakes, they aren't forgiven as easily as humble leaders are. Therefore, they could be at greater risk of being removed from their positions. The researchers suggest that companies take steps to encourage leaders to be humble. For example, humble behavior can be rewarded through performance evaluations. Additionally, human resources teams can organize leadership training programs that encourage people to maintain a humble attitude.
Questions. Number 13. According to the survey, what can help people advance their careers? Number 14. What do the researchers say about dominant leaders?
B. Valkyries. Numerous Viking legends feature female figures called Valkyries. They were often described as being fierce women, armed with spears, who had magical powers. The Valkyries were believed to serve a powerful god named Odin, and to escort warriors who lost their lives in battle to a magical place called Valhalla. Viking warriors also thought that the Valkyries could influence the outcome of a battle and protect the lives of warriors who earned their favor. Experts think that myths about the Valkyries evolved over the centuries. Evidence suggests that before the myths were written down, the Valkyries were likely seen as evil creatures who transported men killed in battle to the underworld. Other myths said they were daughters of Odin. Later written records described them as human women who had been given magical powers.
Questions. Number 15. What did Viking warriors believe about Valkyries? Number 16. What is one thing that experts believe about the Valkyrie legends? C. Lee Elder. In 1975, Lee Elder made golfing history at the Masters tournament in the United States. Elder did not win, but became the first African American to play in the world-famous event. Elder's parents died when he was young, and he dropped out of high school and worked as a golf caddy, carrying other players' clubs. During this time, he learned more about golf. After an instructor helped him improve his game, he entered tournaments open to black players and won many. Until 1961, black golfers were banned from the biggest tournaments, which were run by an organization called the PGA. After the ban was lifted, Elder played in PGA tournaments. His first victory qualified him to appear at the 1975 Masters tournament, one of the biggest competitions in the world. After his long career, Elder continued to push for equality by supporting various educational programs. A short time before his death, a golf scholarship for young people was also founded in his name.
Questions. Number 17. What is one thing the speaker says about the young Lee Elder? Number 18. What did Elder do after retiring from golf? D. A new look at anger. Anger is an emotion that affects most people throughout their lives. One commonly accepted theory in psychology encourages people to deal with anger by outwardly expressing it. For example, by shouting into a pillow or clenching their fists. However, a 2024 study that examined past research found such behavior could actually make feelings of anger more intense. Surprisingly, this includes seemingly healthier tactics, such as hitting a punching bag at the gym or even going jogging. The researchers found the best way to relieve anger was to engage in activities that have a calming effect, essentially, those that reduce heart rate and blood pressure. These include many of the same activities often recommended for stress management, such as meditation and controlled breathing. One exception, however, seemed to be playing ball sports. The researchers believe such sports may relieve anger by encouraging positive emotions through playful group interactions.
Questions. Number 19. What does the speaker say about the findings of the 2024 study? Number 20. What is one thing the researchers discovered about anger?
E. Pioneers of historical romance. The Scottish poet and author, Sir Walter Scott, is considered by many to be the pioneer of historical romance novels. He published many successful books during the 1800s, and a statue in Edinburgh honors his contribution to literature. However, the discovery of the private letters of two English authors, Jane and Anna Maria Porter, revealed that Scott used plots and writing methods that were taken from novels the sisters had published years before. In fact, imitating the work of other writers was not unusual at the time, and it was generally accepted as long as authors acknowledged where their ideas came from. Scott never did this, which angered Jane so much that she publicly challenged him about it. However, the literary world took Scott's side, and Jane's accusation was dismissed. This damaged the sisters' reputations, and as Scott's novels became more popular, theirs were largely forgotten.
Questions. Number 21. What is one thing the speaker says about Jane and Anna Maria Porter? Number 22. What is true of the literary world? F. Trouble for loons. In recent decades, researchers have noticed a decline in populations of water birds called loons in lakes in the U.S. state of Wisconsin. A recent study found this was linked to a decrease in water clarity, which has made it harder for the loons to see and catch fish below the surface. The researchers say climate change has caused increased rainfall, which has likely resulted in organic matter flowing into the water from shorelines and decreasing visibility. The researchers also noted the body mass of loon chicks had decreased. They believe this is because rainfall increased in July, the month when loon chicks need to undergo the most growth. The researchers note that since loons' hunting behavior is consistent worldwide, the same problem is likely to occur anywhere rainfall amounts are expected to increase. The study highlights the need for further research on how climate change might impact wildlife.
Questions. Number 23. According to researchers, why are loon populations in Wisconsin declining? Number 24. What do the researchers say about the problem faced by the loons?
Finally, here are the directions for Part 3. In this part, you will hear 5 passages, G through K. The passages represent real-life situations and may contain sound effects. Each passage will have one question, number 25 through number 29. Before each passage, you will have 10 seconds to read the situation and question written in your test booklet. After you hear the passage, you will have 10 seconds to choose the best answer and mark your answer on your answer sheet. The passage will be given only once. Now, let's begin.
G. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 25.
Attention visitors! If you already have your general admission ticket and will not see a special exhibit, proceed to entrance A. If you have both a general admission ticket and a special exhibit ticket, proceed to entrance B at the far end of the reception hall. Please note the Saturn exhibit has been cancelled due to technical problems. We apologise for the inconvenience. If you have already purchased a ticket for this exhibit, speak to the staff at the reception window. If you are here to see a special exhibit only, proceed to the second floor. Thank you for cooperating.
Now mark your answer on your answer sheet.
H. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 26.
First, there's La Fiesta. It's great if you're on a budget, and the food is quite authentic. I did find the servers rather impolite, though. Next is El Amigo. The owners are from Mexico, but they've altered a lot of the dishes to suit local tastes. Fortunately, the food is fabulous. If you don't mind a place with unattractive decor, head to La Luna. It's completely authentic, and the service is superb. Finally, there's El Mariachi. It serves traditional Mexican food, and at one time, the service was fantastic. Unfortunately, the quality of the service has declined a lot recently.
Now mark your answer on your answer sheet.
I. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 27.
Welcome to JD Drugs. Today we have some fantastic New Year deals. On the first floor, explore our range of electric toothbrushes, hair dryers, and razors, all 10% off. You can get another 5% off just by getting a friend to download the JD app. Next, we have bargains on body soaps, shampoos, and bathroom cleaning products on the second floor. Access your app, click on the coupon, and you'll get 20% off your purchase. Finally, our kitchen goods sale starts tomorrow on the third floor. Use your JD app to get some incredible 2-for-1 deals.
Now mark your answer on your answer sheet.
J. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 28.
First, I have an announcement about volunteer opportunities. The school cafeterias need help preparing meals on weekdays. Talk to Kathy after the meeting if you are interested. She'll be standing by the exit. The high school also needs volunteers to assist the basketball coach with after-school training during the week. Check the school's website for details. The library needs people with computer skills to help patrons use the database on Saturdays. Please apply in person during library business hours. Finally, Whitehall Hospital needs help with clerical work on Monday nights. Speak to John for more information. He'll be near the stage after the meeting.
Now, mark your answer on your answer sheet.
K. You have 10 seconds to read the situation and question number 29.
Graduating students should sit in the designated areas at the front of the hall. If you're in the Fine Arts Department or Performing Arts Department, please sit in Section A. And if you're in the Economics Department or Business Studies Department, go to Section B. Section C is for students in any of the science departments, and Section D is for students in any of the language departments. Parents and family members can sit anywhere other than the designated areas.
Now mark your answer on your answer sheet.
Your time is up. Stop writing and wait quietly until the answer sheets have been collected.
では、時間です。筆記用具を置いて答えの記入をやめてください。これにて試験終了となります。公正なる試験実施にご協力いただきありがとうございました。質問がある方は直ちに試験監督者にお申し出ください。試験監督者に連絡いたします。これより最終の受験者数を確認してください。その後、回答用紙を回収し、枚数の確認を行ってください。なお、問題冊子は回収しません。受験者数と回答用紙の枚数の一致を確認してから解散の指示を出してください。受験者の皆さんは身の回りをよく点検し、忘れ物がないように注意してください。受験者の皆さんが退出するときは別の教室が試験中の場合もありますので、声を出さず会場出口まで静かに退出してください。それでは解散の指示を出すまで静かにお待ちください。